my name is Vlad. I'm founder and tech lead at Rushops.io. At Rushops.io, we create scalable and reliable mobile and web applications. And if you have any project in mind, feel free to contact us. So, objective of this tutorial is to learn how to use Google Appsheet as an external CRM or CMS for your Flutterflow application. Why would you need to use CMS or CRM over your Flutterflow application? Actually, if your application is data intensive or has a lot of
Thousands of people have done it, and I am going to do it. I need a username, and I have a great one. Little Kid Lover. That way people will know exactly where my priorities are at.
Or see data in certain way that your regular users should not see. And sometimes you do not have a lot of budget to create this CRM or CMS using your Flutterflow platform, simply because it is more time consuming. And I will show to you how you can actually set up this CMS or CRM using Google Appsheet, and it can be set up within hours or within a day. So let's start. In this tutorial, we'll create a very simple application, meal planning application. We'll have such data structure. You can see the schema here on the screen. We'll have meals, ingredients, the table that connects meals with ingredients. We need this table simply because we have many-to-many relationship. Many meals can have many ingredients. And for row level security, we'll have the employees table where we'll hold data on our employees. So let's start actually with setting up everything that is needed from a back-end side of things in our Flutterflow application. First of all, as always, please feel free to use the template that is provided in our article on the same topic on our website. It's located here under the what we need to integrate Appsheet with Flutterflow. You can clone this and start with me. So you actually can enter settings and integration. Please grab API URL and enter a non key from your Supabase instance. It is located here in project settings, API. A non key is here. Please paste it. Click get schema. I have some tables here, and I do not think that you already have the database structure set up. Please navigate to our website and use this script to create all the tables that will be used throughout this tutorial. So once you set up those tables, please come back to Flutterflow, click get schema, and that's actually it. Let me just quickly take a tour around the front end. This is actually, let me show to you the splash screen. It is actually a meal planner template that is provided by Flutterflow team. A very powerful template for any meal planning app, or just an app that is oriented toward recipes. You can use it in your applications. I copied this app and deleted all the pages and components that will not be necessary in this tutorial. And I left only dashboard. It is a list of meals and meal details. So, and I think that's it. I also left sign in and sign out forms just for you to be able to edit the data in run mode. So once you set this up, please go to Appsheet. Please register with your Google account, and once you are registered, you will see something like this. So you will see the menu with all of your Appsheet applications, and if you want to create a new one, please click Create App. We'll start with blank app. I just want to show to you how to add data to your application. So please select Sales and CRM, name the app whatever you like, click Create App, click Customize with Appsheet. So, and here it is. So I'll give you a quick tour around this app a little bit later. Let's just start with adding a Supabase as our data source. In order to do it, please click Add New Data here, New Source, select Cloud Database, select Postgres. We select Postgres here simply because Supabase is built around Postgres. So for server, please enter Configuration tab in your Supabase database. Host is your server, database name is your database, and user is your username, and obviously your password. So once you finished pasting all the necessary information, click Test and authorize access. And when you authorize this access, you'll have this data source available in your list of data sources. For example, here it is located in Cloud Database 2. In your case, it will be located in Cloud Database, I think, if you haven't tried already to add Supabase as storage of data here. So enter schemas, public, tables, and I'll add all of those tables: employees, ingredients, meals, X ingredients, and that's it. Views we do not need now. So I will not start an app from scratch. I've already set up one application, and I'll just show to you how to set up the same the same app, and it will look the same and will have the same properties. So I'm inside my application that I've already set up, and let me give you a tour around Appsheet. This is the data tab where you manage all the data sources that you added to your Appsheet application. You can enter Google Sheet, you can enter just the cloud database data, you can add on-premise database data, you can add Google Calendar, you can add Google Drive as your data sources. Here we'll focus on Supabase, simply because Supabase is our link to our Flutterflow application. But if you have some ideas in mind, you can add all those data sources that I mentioned previously to your Appsheet application. So each table has those fields. So it has name of column. It is basically a name of column in your data source. It has type. It is correlated to just common data types. However, it has some data types exclusive for Appsheet that we'll use a little bit further in our tutorial. So you can add a key attribute to one of columns in your table, and it will allow to uniquely identify these rows of this table and not to create duplicate data. So you can actually select the label, the column that will be labeled, that will serve as label in reference to views. I'll show it to you a little bit further, but just let me show to you. So for example, here I've already set up a connection to meals X ingredients table, and for example, pasta is a label of ingredient here. So ingredient name, and that is why I see it here. So that's it. You can, and this one is very interesting. You can manipulate whether to show this column or not, and this one you can configure with formula. So for example, you can give certain users access to this data by manipulating this show variable. You can also configure who can edit the data, or you can just make this column uneditable to everyone. You can require certain columns from certain users or by certain criteria. Just your imagination here. You can set up initial value when you insert a new row to this table. This initial value will also be applied here. You can have different, obviously, display name than just name of a column, and you can add description of this column. Also, just one small remark: this PII checkbox is also very useful if you have to deal with sensitive users' data. What does this checkbox mean? Is that if you checkbox some of columns, for example, user email, this column will be additionally encrypted and will not be shown in Appsheet's logs, for example. And it might be useful if you, for example, create HIPAA compliant app and you, by legislation, have no right to expose this data to third party. So I think that's it. Let's also set up some necessary technical fields. So in order to keep our data in sync with Supabase, in initial value, please enter this formula: lower unique ID and type UUID. You can see it here. Why is it needed? Actually, it is the same formula as is set up in database. In our database, let's enter editor, let's enter meals, and let's edit it. It is just the default value. In our default value, we have generate random UUID function, and in order to emulate this behavior, we can use this formula, and if you do not use it, the Supabase will not allow us to insert rows in those tables. So please copy and paste this formula in each of our key columns: in employee ID, in ingredient ID, in meal ID, and in meal X ingredient ID. So, and that's it. So initial value for created at and last updated at should have been added by Appsheet by default. So that's why I do not show it to you. So I think that's it from the database point of view. Let's see how we can add views, front-end views over those tables. You should enter this view tab, click plus, create a new view, and it will create a new view here. So let me just show it to you. So it is located here. So you can enter a name of view. You can enter the data over which this view will work against, and you can enter type of view. So here it works as a card view. You can select the gallery view, table view, the deck view, map view. For example, if you have set up let long data in one of your columns in your database table, or you have some meaningful address that can be parsed by Google Maps, you can also select and create a map view. You can create some simple chart, histogram, series, donut chart, and pie chart, for example. You can have dashboard, So this one is just an aggregation of other views in Appsheet, and the deck. Actually, I've set up all those views that we'll use further on as a deck view. And so that's it. Also, you can manipulate the position. So for example, currently it is set up as later, basically the last one. We can actually set it up to be first. And if it do not contradicts the other views position, Mills in our case, it would have been first. But I think that in Mills view we also have this first, and as a rule of first in, first out, it actually blocks new view to be the first one. So that's it. You can sort, you can show columns of your table in a different way than it is set up in table in data section. You can select some basic front end representational layer, primary header, secondary header, summary column, and you can select an icon to show. That's it. I've already pre-selected some icons, and you can actually add the same ones. So for example, for meals I have burger soda, for ingredients I have apple alt, and for employees I have users. So you can set it up the same way. So let me delete this new view simply because we won't use it further. So that's it. And actually, let me come back to data table, and I'll demonstrate to you how certain special Appsheet data types work. So let me start from reference data type. If you want to interconnect your data in Appsheet, you can use reference data type. Basically, it is something similar to foreign key. However, this foreign key is enhanced simply because it is also used by front end. For example, we are currently in mill view, and as we've set up a reference in mill x ingredient, here we set up let's say one-to-many relationship, and that is why in mills view we have this inline view, and this was added by Appsheet by default, and it will create such inline view for, let's say, any table that is referenced here. So for example, if we enter ingredients, any ingredient, it will show us all meals where he is used, related meal X ingredients. So that's the first one. Another one is enum. So for example, you want to restrict your users from entering just plain text in category, for example, and you can set up closed number of enums that are available for users to enter. In order to do it, you just enter your database table, meals in our case. You select your column, click edit, select enum data type, and enter those enum values that user can select from. If you have more than one enum values to be entered, you can select enum list. And if you want to have different than drop down view, you can actually select here how it will appear. Input mode. Currently we have drop down. We can have stack. Those buttons will just be stacked buttons, something like staggered view in Flutterflow. I'll let Appsheet select the enum front-end representation. So that's it. That's all what I want to say. And just one more remark: if you want to be able to add related information to your primary table, just like I have here. From form view, you should go to your referenced columns, click edit, and click is a part of. So it will just inline this data to your primary table. So I think that's it from point of view of data and views. So let me show to you the actions tab. You can actually have much more actions than just to add, delete, or edit your information. So let's go to meals. Let's add a new action and let me show to you different types of actions. So you can set the values of some columns is in this row. So for example, you want to default some data in your column to null or to 0, and you can set up the action to do it. You can execute an action on set of rows. So for example, if you want to, for example, default a certain column to one value, you can use this one. You can delete, you can import CSV, you can export CSV, you can open a file if it is stored on Google Drive. You can start a phone call, and this one is interesting. If you set up on your laptop an app that can execute telephone calls, so for example Ring Central, it will open this Ring Central app and will start a call. You can start a text message, start an email, and obviously if you open this application on mobile phone or on tablet, it will just start the phone call. Also, what I want to mention is that in case of Appsheet, you do not have to worry about responsive design, simply because Appsheet optimized all of those front-end views that are available in Views tab to all of the device types, to mobile, to laptop, and to desktop, and to tablet. So that is a very powerful feature of Appsheet. However, it limits you in your front-end design, but if you do not have a lot of budget and you do not have a lot of requirements to front end and you need to roll out your CRM or CMS fast, Appsheet I think is the best option for you. So that's it. And let me show to you the automation tab. Actually, automation is something like trigger in your Supabase instance. So for example, we can configure an event when something happens. So for example, when data changes or on schedule time, you can execute certain actions. So for example, you can send an email when certain column in certain row changes. You can send notifications, send SMS, call a webhook, call a script, Google Apps script, send a chat message if you have Google Chat enabled here, create a PDF file, for example, send a PDF file, etc., etc. Or you can run a data action. You can run this action on several rows, just on one row. You can delete a row, you can add new row, etc., etc. So basically it's something like trigger in your Supabase application. And I think that's it from the point of view of what I wanted to show to you in Appsheet. Please feel free to register and to try it out yourself, simply because I'm convinced that this tool is one of the most useful if you do not have a lot of budget and a lot of time to set up CRM by your own hands. If you just need something to give your employees to work against, to enter data about meals, to enter data about customers, and you do not want to wait until your development process finishes, you can use this one. More things that I want to add before we move further is that I promised to show how row-level security can be enabled in Appsheet, simply because you can actually set this up in your Supabase instance. However, you can also manipulate it from the front end. If you want to set up row-level security over the database table, you should enter Data tab. go to table settings, security, and add the security filter. So for example, you'll have the email of a user that is logged in, and you can enter this formula, user email opening and closing brackets, and that is how you access the email of a user that is logged in, and you can run a lot of formula against it. So for example, you can look up in another table that is called employees in our case, and grab the role of an employee and check that the user that is logged in has admin rights, has some other rights, and whether to show the data to him or not. And you can also manipulate which information is being shown on the view level. So for example, let's click meals, display, and you have this show if formula, and you can actually add some formula here to check whether this view should be shown or not. It can be run against user email, or you can have some advanced row level, not row level, but view level security filters, for example. So that's it. Appsheet also allows you to add more security to your application, and which data can be edited or can be accessed. So that's it. And actually, let's see how data added via Appsheet can be shown on front end. So let's navigate to our Flutterflow project. I hope that you've already set up API URL and anon key. Please click Get Schema. Now you should have schema if you copied and pasted this script to create all the necessary tables. So please enter dashboard, enter grid view, enter meals, edit, list of rows, and that's it. And let's bind all the necessary component parameters. Meal ID is meal ID, meal ID, meal row, meal name, meal category, meal row, meal category. And that's it. Let's set up meal details as well. Let's set up title. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's set up data first. So please enter scaffold and add this parameter, meal ID. We'll pass this parameter when we click on our meal card on dashboard, and this parameter will be carried over to this view and will serve as a filter parameter in our Supabase query. So we already have this set up. Please select that it is a string and that it is required. Let's come back to scaffold. Let's add backend query, Supabase query, and here we'll use meals, single row, and we'll add filter meal ID equal to our component parameter meal ID. That's it. Let's select different title, select this text, meals row, meal name. Let's set up none as a default variable value. Let's add calories. It's a text combination. Calories will leave as it is. For value of calories, let's select meals row, meal calories. Default will be 0. That's it. And in order to set up this one is actually this rope is a list of ingredients, and in order to set this up we'll need the view that will bind our meal ID to all of the related ingredients, and that is why I've already set it up, and we can set it up ourselves. So please enter such a code. So you just select meal ID from meal X ingredients table, you select ingredient name from ingredients table, you join ingredients table to meal X ingredients table using common column ingredient ID, and you just run it. So let's see, and that is how it looks like. Once you created this view, please come back here, come back to Supabase integration, get schema once again, and this view should appear here under views section. And let's add this data to our categories rope. Select rope, add query, Supabase query, meals ingredients view, list of rows, confirm, and let's add name of ingredient. Click on this text, shellfish, meal ingredients view row, ingredient name, let's select none, and let's click confirm. Let's also make sure that we pass this meal ID that I've already mentioned when we click on our meal cart. So let's go to meal cart, actions, let's add action, navigate to meal details, let's allow back navigation, transition type default, and let's pass meal ID, meal row, meal ID. So that's it. Let's test it out. So we can see that all of the recipes that I, for example, added using Appsheet appeared here. So let's actually test it out ourselves, set up some new recipe, and let's see whether it is being shown on Flutterflow or not. Okay, let's add a new meal. Let it be vegan soup. Let's add some ingredients. Boiled water. Let's add onions and tomato. Let's also create another ingredient. And let's save it. Let's check whether it showed or not. And we can see that it was added. And we can see that it contains all of the ingredients that we added. It just has duplicated some data. My mistake. We should actually add filter here for ingredients for meal ID as well. And that's it. So this is actually how you can use Appsheet as your content management system or CRM over your Flutterflow application. Hope that it was useful. So that's it. I hope that you liked this tutorial, and if you did, please click like button below and subscribe to the channel. We're planning to post many more videos related to Flutterflow, Appsheet, and many other instruments that will be useful to enhance your business operations. And if you have any project in mind, feel free to contact us. So have a good day. Bye.